Hi, everybody. I realize it's Treadmill Tuesday and I forgot to start the treadmill. So, uh, little distractions. All right, it's Tuesday. I'm on a treadmill, therefore, it's Treadmill Tuesday. And I obviously am at the running store. Runner's Roost is very busy because we are, 6 days out from Boulder? And I want to show off a little swag. See, that's the fun thing about being in the store. I could just borrow some things, but I really like this jacket. I don't know if you could see. It's $175. So, just so you know, my birthday's coming up next month. We'll just plant that seed. Just kidding. I wear a small. Just kidding. I wear a medium. Anyway, that's not what I wanted to talk about today, but I do really like this jacket a lot. But it's a men's, and this is a very big one. What I want to tell you about today is actually what just took place on this treadmill. So I had a client in who's pondering running the Boulder, which is, like I said, it's Tuesday, the race is Monday. And he's 64, has had intermittent trouble with his knee. And so he's only done a couple of episodes of training for about 2 miles. And I said, look, I have a hat that says PT and I have a hat that says runner. I've been doing this for 25 years. And I know with my running hat talking to him, he's going to decide what he wants to do regarding the race. It's not up to me to tell him, should you do this race? Because people are adults, I can advise, but he's going to make his own decision. But what I want to share with you was really interesting when it came to what we found on the treadmill. I mean, he was on the treadmill, but so he's only done a little bit of training, but he's had this problem with his knee. He has had 2 meniscus episodes. One time he had it scoped, so he's had surgery on his left knee when he was in his 40s. Like I said, he's 64 now. And I asked him, he loves to golf. He'll run only if he's signed up for a race. He hasn't officially signed up for this race, so that's why he's not been running. Also, he wasn't really sure what he should be doing. So he came in, and long story short, he said, am I a mess? And I said, no. He's done maybe 5 or 6 half marathons in the past. But this is what I described to him. What we did today is the equivalent of him taking his car to the shop if he hasn't taken it there in years. So we looked under the hood and found some things, nothing catastrophic. One of the things he did mention to me is that he has fallen a couple times when he's been running, and that's obviously a concern. You know, when you're in your 20s and your 30s, you kind of bounce when you fall, right? But when you're in your 60s, and he's fallen twice. And I said, part of that is, and he pretty much does all of his running on the treadmill. So I said, if you're constantly only on the treadmill and you don't have to think about, example of trail running, where you're not having to change directions, you're not having to, move your feet differently, then no wonder when you get out on the sidewalk, you're going to fall. So having some agility training. The other thing was he's not doing any strengthening, which for somebody that has had a past surgery on the knee, you got to strengthen, especially 40s, 50s, and 60s. It's mandatory. You have to do it because otherwise there's just too much pressure on the joints. So, and it doesn't mean hours and hours. I'll give him some, even just starting with some body weight stuff, because I'll tell you, I had him balance and try and do a squat, and he couldn't do it, which is what running is, basically doing a single leg squat. So he's got a little issue with that surgical side. It's not as flexible as the other side, so he needs to do some range of motion. So here's the big message, besides I really like this coat. These are little things, and he says, am I a mess? No, we need a tune-up. And so we got to tune up the flexibility a little bit, tune up the strength a little bit, and tune up his running mechanics. He was scuffing his feet when he was on this treadmill. So having him work on being mindful and purposeful in how he's running. So these are all little things, again, so he can get back to running. So he's going to decide this week if he is going to sign up for the Boulder or not, and let me know. So I got to go send him his homework, but I told him it was super fun to have him in here. Just take a look at these things. He's got a great foundation. He just needs to maintain his engine, so to speak. So that's what we learned today. All right, I'm going to let somebody else try on this jacket. All right, so next time I'll be talking about Boulder. Yeah, just a couple more days away. I feel bad for, it's kind of crazy in the store, so I'm going to get out of here and go get lunch. All right, everybody, see you next week. Bye-bye.